Welcome to Inside Plug, the podcast where independent creators and entrepreneurs connect and inspire. I'm your host, Devon Jones. Today on our show, we have Daniel Proctor. He's a creative individual. He does writing, does directing, and also he's an actor. Daniel, welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you. Thank you for having me back.
Glad to have you back. So last time we spoke, we touched on the short films that you wrote. We
Mm,
touched on your directing, but let's dive more into your acting. When did
yeah.
you know that acting wanted to be was a career path that you wanted to take?
It was after college. So I actually so I've always kind of loved acting. Um it started with like in high school. I've always loved acting. But I was always I've always liked being more creative and all that. But like it started from my school to realizing more it was so during college, especially, um, I was I realized more my I realized acting is way more easier and more fun. Um, Obviously, as I said in the last podcast, I still love directing, but I realized at the moment acting is more for me at the moment in hopes to even get to that point again. Because you have like Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill was more of an actor and all that, but he became more of a director, as you know. Something like that. Um, or Ben Affleck, you know. Um, so it kind of got the love for acting came back from something I do in the UK. So I do my love more from it was getting back into acting was there's a scare attraction. I know you have them in the US. There's one in the UK, in Liverpool especially called Farmageddon. And after that, I even more realized that I love doing this. I do love doing this. And even in college, I'd rather just help out more doing acting than actually directing. And once again, I do hope once again, um, acting could lead into more directing. But at the moment, I'm just like acting, and I'm fine with that.
Awesome, awesome. All right.
Mm.
So you mentioned Jonah Hill and you mentioned Ben Affleck as actors who then end up directing later on in their career.
Yeah.
But as an actor, is there any actor that was in a film or TV show or in a stage play that kind of inspired you to, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to be an actor.
Um, Probably like Tom Hardy. I think I've mentioned stuff like that in the last podcast. I think Tom Hardy is one of the most. I don't even I don't even want to say underrated because I know he's popular, but if you go back to films like Legend and Peaky Blinders, like TV shows like that and movies, he's such a great actor. I love roles of anger and all that. I just love it. Um, and it just resonated me with those films I kind of want to do. I love playing characters with anger or like anything like that. I love. I just think Tom Hardy's a great actor, in my opinion. He's the one that inspired me the most, and hopes in the future that I get to do a film with him. If I'm gonna get that successful. But you know what I mean? Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. All right. So auditions. So let's talk about auditions. So as an
Mm.
actor, you have to go through auditions. There are some actors who are able to do self-tapes and some who actually go in the room and,
Mm.
audition in full of, a board of casting directors. Have
Mm.
you had any of those experiences?
Yes. So I do. So after college, I did. Um, I found it's kind of. Mad. So like I do a lot of student films at the moment. Um some of them I can list off right now. I did a movie. The first one I did was a movie called Unrequited. And how that went was I went to Liverpool's university there, and it was literally like, it was actually kind of professional, especially for a uni. It was these up and coming like directors and all that. Vincent Parsons, shout out by the way. Um, that film was so fun to do, and they literally gave me the script, and I read it and all that, and I just got the part. Um, like they liked um the the way I interpreted the character, because the movie is about a stalker pretty much going, like, finding this love interest and all that, even though she's not interested in all that, but he's just so obsessed with the idea of love in his head that he will do anything about it. It's a good movie, I think, and it's actually one of the movies I thought, like, it's more personal to me that I've done as an actor. It's a really good movie, in my opinion. It wouldn't Without that movie, I wouldn't even doing all these other films and all that.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks for sharing that. Curious, I'm not sure if we discussed it in our first interview, but for that
Mm.
film that you just discussed, where can viewers see that film? Is it still available?
Yes, it's on YouTube. Just type in Unrequited. Year will be 2023. So if you can't type in Unrequited 2023, I'll be there. It's a good movie. It's a fun movie. It's a good little short horror film.
Awesome, awesome. All right. So with filmmaking as a whole and being an actor, now they have this whole AI thing where I guess they can use, some of your previous acting and kind of mimic it for future acting. As an
Mm.
actor, where do you see yourself in about 5 years?
Hopefully, not AI. I'll say that much. But hopefully, like, just, like, hopefully Oscar. Like, I hope, like, the God that I can get like an award and all that. Like, of some sort and all that. I got a long way to go at the moment, especially now. Because I've been doing acting for, like, I don't even know, like 4 years now. I don't know, but like, I just hope to, like, get to that stage, like with any other actor, upcoming actor. Just hope, like, in 5 years, hopefully, I can get like a big feature film and all that.
Awesome, awesome. So also out there they have, acting workshops, they have master
Mm.
classes. Have you had an experience with any of those?
Does classes count?
Yeah.
Yes. So I did, once again, mentioned in the last podcast, I did act up. I don't know if actually, I don't even mention it, actually. I did a Liverpool class called MAD. It stands for Merseyside Academy of Drama. It's more stage acting. Um, and that was fun. I did it for like 2 years, I think. And then I moved up to a place called Act Up North, which is a recommendation, by the way. I'm not there anymore, but Act Up North is really good. Act Up North is really good. If you're from Liverpool or you're in Manchester, I think they have a few other ones in around the country, but the ones I know the most is Manchester and Liverpool.
Awesome, awesome. All right, Daniel. Is there any projects that you're currently working on right now?
Yes. So at the moment, in the previous ways I've done a movie called In a Blue Corner and Already Buried. Any upcoming ones now, I'm doing a movie called Real. I can't really spoil it. I can't talk too much about it. Like, it's a it's a short horror film, and it pretty much plays on like the horror cliches of, you find, like, like your Jasons, your Screams and all that. It's an interesting idea. That's why I said yes to it. But look out for that because it's the most it's the one I'm working on the most. Um, and the director's been great, and the cast so far are great. Um, really, really good like people to work with, and I am looking forward to when it gets to filming. I think filming is in September, I'd say. And yeah, if you like horror films, if you want to see something different in the horror genre, I say go watch Real when it comes out.
Awesome, awesome. All right, Daniel. So we have an aspiring actor that's getting ready to go into their first audition in a room full of casting directors. What
Mm.
some advice would you give them?
Don't like stress. It's one of them. Like, let's say if you just work on the script you've been given, um, and just give it your all. Um, if you interpretate the character, that's the word. I don't know.
Interpret
Uh,
the character.
yeah, that's it. Thank you. So yeah, if you interpret the character in that way, do it. Or if you're uncomfortable with that beforehand, give tell the director like how would I play this and all that. If it's not written beforehand, at least. Um, and just don't stress. If you fail, everyone makes mistakes in life. Everyone makes mistakes in life. Like especially me, I've done like projects and all that I haven't got given. But it's just one of them. Good projects I'll be amazingly interested in, but like you can't like stress on that. There's always other opportunities out there. It's just a lesson in life in general. Like there's always other opportunities out there, so just don't stress.
Awesome, awesome. I love that. All right, everyone. That was Daniel. He came back and discussed his acting career and gave some insightful information for all you aspiring actors out there. Remember, don't give up, don't stress. Um, really own your craft. Pay attention to the script. And look forward to seeing Daniel in more films. And we'll get a link to those films that we discussed today on an episode. We're gonna have them in our description box. And also, if there's anything that everyone that is listening to the podcast wants us to do to improve the podcast, please throw some comments down there. Tell us how you feel about the podcast, listening to the episodes. What can we do to improve? All right, everyone. Daniel, thanks again for joining us again. Glad to have you back and look forward to seeing your projects in the future.
Thank you very much.
All right, everyone. If you love today's episode, don't forget to subscribe on our YouTube channel. Remember, Inside Plug with two G's. We're here every Tuesday at 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Remember, stay inspired and keep creating. Inside Plug, signing out.